Welcome to our tutorial on Draftbit's new fetch component features. Now we have loading, data, and error properties, as well as a host of response-specific triggers, all designed to help your app handle server requests more intuitively and robustly. So what does those new features do? I'll demonstrate them now in a minute, but let me give a brief information about them. First of all, they are placed in different tabs. Loading, error, data properties are placed in the third tab and will be active for the child component you nested on the fetch. As for the response-specific triggers, they are at the fourth tab. With the loading property, you can display a spinner or other loading indicator as the latest data are fetched. And the error property lets you handle request failures, showing a custom error message instead of a default error or blank screen. If any response status is received, the new series of triggers come into play. On processing, on success, on server error, all provide detailed response handling, allowing for precise actions tailored to each type of server response. So these new features allow your app to be more interactive. I've already built a template script for sake of keeping it short. You can think of it as a search of hotel screen. So let's get started. I've saved a block of components for our loading message. This will display an icon with a smiling face and text says loading. Its role in Data tab has already been configured as loading, and it can be seen next to the component in a small rectangle. This little detail may help you to better trace your components in Components tree. Now let's test it on mobile. As you can see, although it was an instant display, the message appears while waiting for loading the data from your backend. This will definitely be very helpful for slower responses. Now let's move on to configuring our error message. Now I'll add another side block of components for our error state. This again was set for error state in Data tab. And you can see a little rectangle showing the role of this view component. The error message will display a frown face icon and a message, oops, something went wrong. Let's remove that part. And also we have a markdown component which will navigate us to our community page. We can simulate an error state by breaking our endpoint. For now, let's change one letter in the endpoint URL here. And as you can see, when tested, it gives 404 error. Now just click on skip and let's take a look at our error state. Voila, it works fine. And here is our community page. It's coming. So we were able to navigate our user in error state to community page for asking help. You can customize your error state handling and apply different use cases. Now let's talk about new triggers of fetch components. We don't need the error or loading components for this example, so let's remove them. Since we have already had 404 not found error in our API call, we can use related trigger here. and an action of show alert to show an alert when this error occurs. Our title will be Oops, and the message Something went wrong. Now let's take a look at how our alert works. It works fine. So adding triggers can add another layer of interactivity to your app, making it more responsive and intuitive for users. It's a great way to handle unexpected issues and guide your users accordingly. Thank you for listening and happy building!